Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Christopher. Today we're taking a look at the Blackstar Silverline 100 watt head. This is the deluxe head. This is a brand new product from Blackstar, kind of an upgrade from their ID Core series. Kind of the same amp in effect where you can, change your different types of responses with the different tubes. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different voices or different amp styles. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tube types that you can emulate. This, of course, is a solid state head. I'm playing into my Marshall 412 cab, and the guitar I'm using for this particular demo is my Ibanez BFP Floral Jem. Later on, I'm going to jump on my Jackson guitar that has Fishman pickups in it to give you guys an idea of what those sound like with some metal tones. But let's go through the amp and start playing with some sounds. So right now, as you can see, everything's on the 12 o'clock position. Nothing's turned on the effects side of the amp right yet. However, over here, we do have some global controls that control the entire amp. We've got a resonance knob, we've got a presence knob, and we've got an overall master volume. These two knobs are for effects. These three buttons are for effects. Here is the different types of tubes. You've got KT88, 6L6, KT66, EL34s, 6V6, and EL84 tube emulation. Then from there, from right to left, right to left, I know it's left, right? We got ISF, which is Blackstar's little thing they got where you can go to the right and it sounds like a British amp. You go all the way to the left, it sounds like an American amp, and then you can blend them in between. Then we got a treble, middle, bass. We got a volume level for the amp voice. We got a gain level for the amp voice. Then we got the 6 different voices. We've got clean warm, clean bright, crunch, super crunch, overdrive 1, and overdrive 2. So we're going to start right off with the warm clean. And I'm playing in the second position of my Jem here, which is half of my bridge pickup and my middle single coil pickup. So with all the knobs at the 12 o'clock, my volume's a little bit low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the volume up. And it didn't go very much louder because my gain's only on half. Still didn't go up very loud. So this is a pretty quiet one. I'm going to turn the master volume up a little bit. There we go. Now we got some volume. So the gain control on this, obviously, it gives you more or less gain. When it's down, it's off. Then you start adding gain, you start getting signal. So with the gain cranked, you start to get a little bit of a breakup with the EL84 tube emulation. So if we change through the tubes here, you'll hear that each one has a different gain response. So I'm going to leave the gain cranked up and I'm going to move it up to the 6V6s. And you can hear there that it breaks up a little bit more. So you get a little bit of tube breakup. These responses are pretty close to the actual tubes. So the next one up is EL34. You can hear there's a mid-range punch there, which is what you'd expect from an EL34 tube. Again, I got the gain pegged just so you can hear the difference between the tubes with full gain. Here's some KT66. That one breaks up a lot. Really good breakup on that. Then you got the almighty 6L6s where the low end is just crazy. Crazy sounding. Those 6L6s are huge. And the KT88s, which in theory should sound bigger, but I think they have more mid-range than a 6L6. So you get a good mid-range honk. So let's turn the gain down a bit and go, I don't know, right about the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock position. I'm going to turn the main volume down from the amp a little bit, same thing. You hear that it starts to clean up a bit. So that's the different sounds of the tubes. If we start messing with the EQ, you can get a really good tone going. And you can get different tones based off of which tube you're going to use, which is really cool. And what's extra cool is that you can get multiple different types of tones and then program them. You've got 4 channels, and I'm not sure how many banks, but I know you can put multiple programmed patches. And if you have the pedal, which right now Blackstar offers for free if you buy it before, I want to say Christmas, it's sometime in December. If you buy any of their Silverline product, they'll ship you the pedal for free. So I just got my amp today, so I signed up through their website and got approved, and they're sending me a pedal. So I'll have that really soon. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me now, so I can't make too many patches. I'm pretty much limited to, what I can do on the face of the amp. And there's more to be said about that as well, where, as you can see here, we've got a USB port. So we can hook this guy up to our computer, and they have a piece of software where you can further manipulate your tone. And one cool thing, and one of the reasons I bought this amp, is it has a built-in noise gate, which is used in Overdrive 1 and Overdrive 2, which is really the only ones that I think you'll need it. I mean, you can get a crazy gain out of the Super Crunch as well. I'm not sure if it works there or not. I'd have to look at the manual and report back to you guys. Maybe I'll do another video later once I figure out all the features. Again, I just got this today. But from what I understand, the gate is for OD1 and OD2. And by default, it's set to low. There's 3 settings. There's off, low, and high. High, obviously, if you're using super high gain and you want to get that genty tone where you get the notes to stop abruptly. So again, back to the sounds on the amp. We're still on the cleans here. Like I said, if you mess with the EQ, you can get some really beautiful tones. Mid sweep. And bass sweep, I'm not going to bother because you're not going to hear it through YouTube's compression. So the treble, you got a good range there. What the hell, I'll do the bass too. Thins out completely. Don't know if you can tell. And you get some pretty good sized bass going right there. The other portion of this is the resonance and the presence, which is global for the amp on all presets. This stays the same. So if we turn the resonance knob down, the reaction to the cab changes. So you don't get that thump. And if I turn it up, you start to feel the cab thump a bit. Which is pretty neat. It's got its place. It's tough to dial in sometimes, depending, on what kind of tones you're going for, and if you're going to go between heavy tones and clean tones. Sometimes you want that thump if you're doing some chicken picking or something, and then you go to a heavier patch and it's still thumping and you don't want that. It starts to fart out. So that's maybe a drawback of the amp being a global setting. The other thing we got that's global is the presence. So that's kind of like I call it the wet blanket knob. So if you turn it all the way down, suddenly there's a wet blanket over your amp. And as you turn it up, you start to take some of that blanket away. I personally prefer it a little bit after halfway, so you don't get crazy ear-piercing highs. So that's the warm clean, and I'm already up to 10 minutes on my video here, so I'm talking a lot. I apologize. But now that you understand what's going on here, I can move on a little bit and give you some more tones. So the next one up is the clean bright. I'm just going to change the EQ settings a little bit and leave them there for the rest of the video. And the ISF knob. I didn't talk about that. So you got the American sound over here, right? So all the way left. And then if you go all the way right, you get a more British tone. To me, the British sound is a little bit nasally. You know, it's more of a Marshall-y thing versus a Fender thing on the left. I like it almost right in the middle. I like it right about there. And that's with KT88s. For the tube response. Of course, if you change this, it then responds differently. Because your tubes make every bit of difference in an amp. So if you do the same thing again, that one I like straight up, the 6L6s. I think I'm going to leave it on the 6L6s from here on out. You understand from my first demonstration what they do on a clean channel. I'll maybe change them again once I get to some high gain stuff. So now we're going to go to the clean bright. And immediately, I don't know if you can hear it through the YouTube video, but the presence kind of jumped up a little bit. You get a little more bite to the tone. So I'm going to switch my pickups since I'm on the bright. I'm going to go to my half my neck in my middle, which is my 4th position on the switch. So with those 6L6s, we get some serious bass, so I'm going to remove some of that. Maybe turn the resonance down a little bit more. I should also mention I'm in my band room right now, so you might hear some snare drums going with some spring action, and that's okay. So clean bright, or I'm sorry, the clean bright, yeah, clean bright channel is just a little bit brighter than the warm, and hence the name. You know, it's pretty much the same sound. It's just a little bit brighter. So I'm going to move into the crunch, and here I'm going to my bridge pickup. And my gain is cranked, so you get some pretty hefty gain going there. So you get a really, really usable crunch channel on this amp. You get the idea. That's the kind of sound you're going for with a crunch channel. So if we change the gain a little bit on that, you'll hear it get a little bit thicker. Okay, so you start to get that 70s good gain. It's actually a little more gain than what you'd hear on some old 70s tunes, but it does sound pretty nice. I should also mention that the pickups in the Jem are pretty hot. So that's going to push the gain a little bit. If you have some older pickups like a PAF Pro or something, or even single coils, that's going to be an entirely different sound. In fact, if I go to my middle pickup, which is a single coil pickup, by the way, it'll definitely sound a lot different. Okay, so your gain goes away a little bit because you're not on such a hot pickup. So your gain structure is going to sound different depending on what kind of guitar you go with, you know? So from what I'm using here, I have the ability to go between single coils and much thicker, more heavy sounding humbuckers versus, okay, so the difference is substantial. So what guitar you use is going to make a big difference. So moving the gain up a little further, you'll see this gets pretty hot. That's a lot of gain, man. So if we go up a little further. So that is smoking gain right there on the crunch channel with it all the way up. You can even get a little further if you push the volume. Let's try it. Go all the way up on the volume. Super hot channel, man. Crunch is pretty hot. Now, if we go even further up the dial here, we got the super crunch coming up next, which gives you even more gain. So if you didn't figure it out, as you go up in the knob, you get more and more gain. But you don't just get gain, you get a different tonal response from the amp voice as well. So some of them give you a mid-cut, some of them give them a mid-boost. Let's see the difference between the regular crunch and the super crunch. So I'm going to turn the gain way down. So with the gain all the way down, that's the level of, you know, distortion you're getting out of this thing. Which is a lot. So now if we bring this gain up a little bit, you're going to hear the fuzz from the speakers start to, you know, you start to get that ocean sound. I don't know if you can hear it through the video, but in the room, right there on the knob, you start to get a really thick low end. It starts to really kick in with the low end. Lots of gain. and I'm not even at the halfway point. So if I go a little further, now it sounded to me like right about there on the knob, it started to change the low end structure again. Sounds incredible, man, in the room. I hope it sounds the same on the video. So if we go all the way up on the gain here, it's going to get kind of scary. Now again, it sounded to me like right about here on the knob, the low end structure changed even further. It changed a little bit, got a little thicker and a little bit tighter almost, it sounded like. That's pretty mighty. It's a lot of gain. Let's kick this back down, move up to OD1. Oh, there's the ocean. You can hear the ocean from here. That's crazy. I'm all the way over here on the knob. Let's turn this off. See what we get for our initial gain. It just kicks in, man. That's a crazy amount of gain already. Up a little bit. Right there, I can hear the low end change again. Massive. I'm going to go up a little further on the knob here, see if we can keep this thing tamed a bit. I might have to turn it down because I'm sitting right in front of the damn thing. Right there, the structure of the low end changed again. Mighty sounding, mighty. Mighty, mighty, mighty. We'll go up even further here. So to my ears, I can't really hear the difference in the gain between there and there. But you listen to the ocean and you can hear it gets much louder. You get more gain for sure. So all the way up, this is what we get. Man, that low end response is awesome. Awesome. That's a really heavy, heavy channel. So let's go to OD2, which is their maxed out. This is, you know, the big boy. Now Now right away I can hear that the mid-range response on OD2 is completely different from OD1. That's really nice sounding to me. I like that gain a lot. Right there again on the knob is where the bass response changes. A lot of goddamn gain. So turn it up a little bit more. Right there, it changes again. And what I mean by it changes is you can hear the low end tighten up a little bit, which is really cool. I really like the way it does that. I gotta tell you, my master volume is on almost half over there, man, and it is crazy loud in the room, so I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Maybe not that much. It's a little bit more ear-pleasing. Massive, massive amounts of gain. I'm going to turn this up a little more. Right there, it got thicker, but tighter at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's a really good sounding gain right Unbelievable amounts of gain. Go all the way up. That sounds mighty, 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 mighty. You can play all kinds of metal with this thing. But while we're at it here, I'm going to switch guitars so you can hear what my active Fishman pickups sound like through this amp. So we're going to switch out guitars. We're going to go from this beautiful specimen, love this thing, to this beautiful specimen right here, which, if you pay attention to my site at all, you may have seen that I did a recent video on this guy. My Jackson dka-ex, loaded with Fishman Fluence Moderns. This guitar is crazy thick. I detuned it, so this thing is tuned to C-sharp standard. So it's a much lower tuning than what you just heard. So you can hear what it sounds like if you're going to play some low-tuned metal here. Pick, turn the gain back on so I actually get some sound. Much quieter pickups. That sounds insane. Turn up the gain here about 3/4. That's in voice 1 on the Fishman, so I'm going to change it to voice 2, which is supposed to sound more passive, just so you can hear it. That's nasty. Train's going by. Awesome. Full gain. Voice 1. It's thick and delicious. Effects. I haven't even touched effects yet, and it's 33 minutes into my video, so I'm going to do it quickly. I'm just going to turn on some reverb. Let's turn this back down to like a crunch setting. Nice little spring, it sounds like. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of reverbs that you can play with. And turn the level up so you can hear them. So you get different levels. You see that there's lines on this that change. So less, more. And then it switches to that one. Then you got less to more. And everywhere in between, obviously. And then it switches to the less. That's a big one. I think that's a shimmer reverb. And you can go swimming in that reverb. That's wet. And then the last one. Some crazy reverbs there. Put it there and leave it. Okay, so after that you got delay, which is obvious, you know. You got a tap tempo that you can use down here. So if you want your delay to... Let's turn this up so you can hear it. So I think all the way up, the second note's almost as loud as your original note. Change it to this one, see what this is. So you got a much longer hold there. So the level will change the decay. So won't that. So if you turn this up and you've got this all the way down just before it changes, you should get 1. Yep. Which is pretty good if you want to do these kinds of things. Maybe not on that one. I'll try it on the next one. Nope, that's like a tape delay. So you tap, changes the delay. Nope, that one doesn't do it too good. Maybe if I turn it up. Nope, let's go to this one. So the Van Halen effect, which I think some of you think or know what I'm trying to get at there, doesn't really work very well with this set of delays. But there's your delay. I don't really use it a lot. Then we got different mods. So these are going to be 4 different types of effects, which I'm not going to do too much of. I'm just going to show you what they are. Sounds like a phaser. That's the other one. I can't remember what the hell they're called. I should have researched a bit, sorry. That's maybe chorus. And then the most useless thing, for me anyway, is the vibrato. So I don't use effects too much. I use reverb, maybe some delays on a lead or whatever, but I'm usually just a reverb guy. So while I've got my Fishmans here, let's go back down to clean warm. I think these things sound amazing clean. Holy crap, that's loud. So that's going to do it, man. This amp, super duper versatile, especially if you get the pedal that they'll send to you for free. Again, it's the 100-watt Silverline Deluxe from Blackstar. Brand new amps. They sound amazing if you ask me. I think they sound really, really good. In my last several videos, I've been using their ID Core 10, which is the little tiny practice amp with an 8-inch speaker. That's what my tones have been coming from for my videos, and that thing sounds insane. So this thing sounds crazy good. Going through a 412, you know, you got a 100-watt head. Why not throw it to a real cab here? It sounds mighty in the room. Oh my God, this is beyond loud enough to play in a band with a really loud drummer. Solid State has come a long way, man. I got to hand it to Blackstar. This thing sounds really, really good. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if there's anything you want me to try with this guy. I might at some point put a video up with the software editor, just so you can see how that works. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, YouTube. Bye-bye.